deep in the week. James and Dan go live their spirits at its peak. Talking trails and airwaves, mountains in the air. Hopping streams and echoes, riding waves without a care. Explode. Radio out on the peaks, voices in the sky, strapped for a journey, signal to amplify. Pedals on the pavement, kayak rides ripple clear. Every path's a story, every sound we revere. Hump Day ramble, the hours alive. Adventure in their hearts, the signal thrives. POTA, SOTA, kayak, bike road. Through the static of life, their voices explode. Mic in hand, stories pour, breaking walls that bind. Adventures, the religion, waves, our holy shrine. Rove and wander, talk and share, find what keeps you strong. Hump Day's happy power, fueling where we all belong. Hump Day ramble, the hours alive. Adventure in their hearts, the signal thrives. POTA, SOTA, kayak, bike rove. Through the static of life, their voices explode.
What is up, Ham Radio? Kilo Echo 8 Papa Zulu November, the Ham Radio Adventure Guy. Thanks for stopping by, your one stop for everything Adventure Radio. It is Hump Day, time for the Hump Day Happy Hour. It's that one stream where me and Dan actually have to talk about Ham Radio, but I bet we still get sidetracked somehow.
No.
But before we get sidetracked, let's give a shout out to the Patreons. They are absolutely awesome people. And preparing for the next Patreon meetup, just a couple weeks away. That thing is looking really good, shaping up very well. Also, a shout out to the YouTube members who are saying, "Where's my video this week?" I'll tell you where your video is. It's rained. It's rained out every day since Sunday. It's rained, and I don't think you want to see no car activations because they're boring. Also, shout out to the ever-changing board with bunches of changes. Kilo 4, Lima, India. Thanks for the off-stream donation. Dan put out there in parentheses, it's about time taking over that top spot again.
That's right.
Back to King of the Stack. Also, thank you very much, Kilo 9er Alpha Echo Echo, for the off-stream donation, which moves him to the top of the other side. So, moving and shaking, going around.
Arongi.
Yeah, and all
That's
that
right.
cool stuff. What's going on, Dan?
Man, not a whole lot. Rain be gone. We need some of that rain be gone spray. They ought to sell that in corner stores in West, by God, Virginia. You know, just let the rain be gone. But happy Hump Day Wednesday to everybody there. Let's run through the chat, see who's here on episode 197. We are creeping up on episode 200. Kelly Rose was first. KI4 JAV. What's going on, Kelly? Toby Alpha Delta 2 Charlie Delta. Whiskey 1 Whiskey Charlie says, well, I never. Appreciate you being here. Alpha Echo 4 X-Ray Oscar. That's Georgia Parks and Propagation. Our buddy Ron Chris. Ronnie, Kilo Oscar 4 Zulu Romeo X-Ray is here. Kilo Oscar 4 Golf Bravo Bravo. What's happening, Mo? KO4 SXH, Mr. Duckett. Sorry about your ears today. We were both hunting the same station, and I think I kind of overloaded his front end a little bit. See what I did there. Kent, Kilo 9 Alpha Echo Echo. What's going on, buddy? Reed, AB8AS. Good to see you. Kilo 4 Oh Tata is in the house. Says don't touch the antenna. That's good advice. Very good advice. The loud mouse from Hammertown. Victor Echo 3 Lima Bravo India. Larry, good to see you. And Turd is here. And for TRD is wondering who turned off 20 meters. Yeah, we'll talk about that here in a little bit. It's been rough. Chris K2 PTC. Hello. And Grampy Terry is here. Kilo 8 Golf Quebec. Good to see you. Kenny, Kilo Charlie 5, Mike Juliet Echo. Hello. Fred N8SLT. Good evening, Brent. November 4 Bravo Delta Whiskey. He says that was his picture on the thumbnail. We got to be careful. The Ostrich is here, K3MTO. Chris, always good to see you. Mr. Larry, hello. Good to see you, buddy. KEUKX. And the Blank Swamp is in the house. Bob Whiskey 4 Golf Alpha. Liz and fam, that's Whiskey Echo Romeo 8 Romeo. Good to see you. Sidewalk Sherry Kilo Echo 8 Yankee Victor Donut. Hello, Scott. Into TKT. Dad is here. Kilo Delta 9 Uniform Victor. Kilo. Yeah, that's him. And let's see. KE6GAE, the Hillbilly Ham. What's going on? And the leader of our Adventure Club board back upon his rightful top spot. Keeler 4, Lemur, India. Says stand by for my third operator. And Whiskey 0, Charlie Golf Charlie from East Tennessee. Always good to have you in the chat, buddy. And happy Hump Day, episode 197. That was a long list to go through. Appreciate everybody being here. James, what's up?
So William says at 10 a.m. someone turned the switch off to everything. Yeah. Actually, it's a little closer to about 9:30 because that's when I started activating. And I'm going to tell you, it was horrible. Absolutely. I mean, even on CW at 9:30, it was horrible. Terry couldn't get me for crap today on 40 meters. And I mean, he's just over that mountain. You know how it is for Terry.
Just over the hill. Yeah.
It's crazy. He got a break at one point and got through on one of the activations, got a 4-4. It was just absolutely horrible band conditions. And I tried to space them out. Like I'll give it some time. I'll give it some time. And, you know, I ended up only getting 4 in today because of spacing it out like that. But even less than an hour to the stream, I was across the street at the wildlife management area, and still the bands wasn't good. So
they've been bad. Hopefully the bands will get better at the bottom of the solar cycle.
Yeah, you know, that's what I said the other day. If this is the top, can I go back to the bottom?
No kidding.
Because I made a lot better contacts. So. Anyway, it's been pretty bad, but it is what it is. We're going to Liz is asking where the 2 hats is. The kids had me having on 2 hats the other day. We were doing a video call with them. And I had the Dr. Pepper hat facing forward and the Yezu hat facing backwards. So
what do they call those in baseball? Rally hats. Yeah.
I was trying to rally the bands, but I don't think it worked very well. But we're going to talk a little bit about ham radio, as always. We like to talk about ham radio sometimes. I'm sure we'll get sidetracked, but it's getting the time of the year when, you know, most of the time, if somebody says contest or special event or something, I'm like, oh, God, something to interfere with the bands.
Yeah.
But it's getting the time of the year. My 2 favorite ones come up, the ones that I like the best. And that is the Lewis and Clark Trail special event. That one means a lot because, hey, the Lewis and Clark Trail is POTA. So, I mean, you might as well support that event. and then the 13 colonies. Them is my two favorite events. Those are the two events that I will spend my time. Well, I spend my time on the Lewis and Clark more of activating it than I do hunting it. By the time I'm done activating it, I don't get to really hunt it that much. I do get a bunch of them because they'll work me and stuff like that when I do POTA and stuff. But now the 13 colonies, I always seem to work them all the time. So my two favorite events. So we'll start out talking about the Lewis and Clark. Brent wants to know anyone's FTX1 hiccup like MRD's did on his video. I don't know what his did on his video, and I do not have mine yet. Mine will be here probably Friday afternoonish, should be. And a big shout out to Yankee Victor Delta for making sure that happened. I was having problems finding somebody to finance to a YouTuber because YouTubers don't make good money, but she made sure that somebody did it. So shout out to her for that. But it should be here on Friday. The auto voice got stuck on and wouldn't let transmit.
Yeah, I've seen a couple of weird bugs with them, but like I said before they even came out, I would wait until you get a firmware release or two underneath your belt. But I expect it to come out with a new firmware here pretty soon.
Any radio that comes out in the first couple months is going to have a few bugs, and they're going to firmware it and fix it all up. So,
Otata, her interest rate is about 95%.
But anyway,
Lewis and Clark, is that what we're going to first, or
that's what we're going to first?
Okay. The real reason why you like the Lewis and Clark is you get to run FT8.
Yeah, I mean it's the one event I get to run FT8, but I'm kind of excited because every year I end up running all the hours for the club.
Yeah,
and this year there's about every state that's in it, besides maybe one or two, has at least two clubs going. So first off, the hours are cut in half for them, and second of all, I've got a good club support this year. Yankee Victor Delta is going to run a lot of the hours. We got a special event that we're holding on. So on the 7th, which is our first Saturday of the month, because the first is on the Sunday, we're doing our club meeting at Chief Logan Park, and all day long we're going to be at Chief Logan Park running the Lewis and Clark, aka that will also be POTA. So that's really good. But here's the page. Let me get this brought up on my other screen to where I can see it here. Let's see here.
I've always liked Lewis and Clark, so that's what.
All right, so May the 31st at 000 UTC is when it'll start, and it'll end on 0059 on June the 15th. So you got about 2 weeks and a day almost. So it's pretty easy. There's 16 different states running it, but there is something different. This year, there's going to be 2 bonus stations. You don't have to get the bonus stations to get the whole Lewis and Clark, but the 2 bonus stations, there will be one that'll be more of a West Coast one and one that'll be more of an East Coast one. It can be ran in any of the states. Each club can assign people to that bonus station, and if you get that bonus station, you can use it for any state. So it's kind of like the DC wild card in POTA. Now you can't get 16 wild cards, and you only get to use one wild card. And even if you get both of the bonus stations, you only get to use one wild card. But say you get only 15 states and a bonus, you can still get the full sweep for the Lewis and Clark. So we'll be running under Whiskey 8 Lima Oscar Golf, Toby. All the clubs will be running under their their own call, but they'll be calling CQ Lewis and Clark and stuff like that. But you send in for your certificates, and let's see here. If you go to, well, you can go right here and look at all the clubs. We're not really worried about that, but if you look for, I'm trying to find, there's somewhere on this page here, there's a list. It may not be up yet of you can check the scheduled activations. Do hunters have to register? Do not think so. I don't think there's any registering for hunters because all the logs are submitted by the activators just like they are in POTA. And
I don't recall registering last year either. So yeah,
I don't think there is any register. I'm always activating it, so I can't remember. But I know you can go to this page and you can check and see when the clubs are on. What then? A lot of clubs will schedule. You know, they'll be like today's Wednesday, and they'll be like, so Saturday at 1 to 3 p.m. we're going to be on 20 meters, and you know you just check it like that.
Yeah, hold that window right there when you got it to answer Brian's question. What is the TLDR on the Lewis and Clark event? Like, what is good? I'm going to read it right here, buddy. The Lewis and Clark Trail on the Air special event is an on-air activity that commemorates. Well, I say that 5 times fast. That commemorates the historic Lewis and Clark Trail. The trail covers 4,900 miles through 16 states. This includes the where they got off the boat from Camp Du Bois.
Man, I really hope we get that on short.
and what is referred to as the Eastern Legacy. The event is sponsored by the Clark County Amateur Radio Club with support and participation from clubs in all 16 states along the trail.
It's a really fun event, and 99% of the time, if I'm the one running Whiskey 8 Lima Oscar Golf, you're not only getting a Lewis and Clark contact, you're getting a POTA contact. So that's going to be the gist of it, you know. Now, here's before the question even pops up: does a Whiskey 8 Lima Oscar Golf Lewis and Clark contact that's in a POTA park being ran by me count for the PZN Challenge? No, it does not. I'd still activate every day as Kilo Echo 8 Papa Zone November. So,
disembarkation. Boy, I'll tell you, man, they come up with some weird words. I've heard of disembark. I know what that means. But I guess disembarkation is the act of disembarking.
But just do me a favor. You can go on here and you go to find hunters or find activators or whatever. Let's see. Find an activator. I don't know if it's live yet. Okay, here we. No, look, this is where you find the schedule. So this is the schedule, and people's already got stuff scheduled out, unless this is from last year, but I don't think so. No, Saturday, May the 1st.
Yeah.
This is
last
this year. People has already. So you just see the states right there, and that's where you go. Now, if you are needing a certain state and you can't seem to find that one state on there, instead of emailing the official event people, because all they're going to do is pass it along to the state, why don't you look up and see what clubs are doing that state and maybe reach out to them and see? Because I had a lot of people just reach out to me because when I'm doing it by myself, and which won't be happening this year, so there will be a lot more stuff scheduled. Plus, there's another club that's doing West Virginia. So, but when I'm doing it by myself, I wouldn't schedule 3 and 4 days in advance because I didn't know what time I was going to be at a park doing it. I would schedule an hour out or something.
Right.
And people would complain about that. But, they would reach out to me, and people send me an email. I'd be at home at like 12 o'clock, and all of a sudden I get an email pop up saying, "When are you going to schedule this?" I was like, "I can schedule it right now. What band do you want to do?" And I'd walk into the bedroom and I'd hunt him, let him hunt me, So it's really easy. Most of the activators are really cool to get. It's not like it's that you got to fight through this crazy pile up, because these clubs, well, there's two clubs per state now, so they're looking at 30 some hours apiece between those two clubs that they're going to be on during those 2 weeks. So it's not like you got to fight that big crazy madness pile up like you do on the next event that we'll talk about. I mean, there might be a little bit of pile ups, but this event is not that big. Like it's not hard to get all these. And as you can see, FT8, FT4 sideband, you can do CW, you can do FM even if you're close enough to one. Oh, didn't mean to do that. X'd off of it, but yeah. Anybody got any questions about this event before we start talking about the next one?
$6 meters. Yeah, you could do 6 meters, Brent.
Yep. The only digital, the only thing I don't like about it, the only digital mode you can do is FT8 and FT4.
There's others.
I guess the Lewis and Clark event is as scared as all you other hunters who are scared to do a little bit of work and type in stuff, who won't hunt the cool digital modes.
Yeah, buddy. I've always enjoyed the Lewis and Clark event, but to be honest with you, I like the next one we're talking about a little better.
Yeah, I do too. And I'll go ahead and start prepping that.
Because it's always been fun to me. And I want to be one of the quote unquote activators for the next event, because I think that would be a blast.
I would really love to be one too, but unfortunately, I'm not in a state that does it. So, I would go to a state that does it just to be an activator.
It's
I wouldn't stay there. Well, it's just a week. I could probably stay the whole week.
I think in the last 2 or 3 years that I've done it, I've always gotten a clean sweep, and I've always swept at least 2 of the bands as well. So it's just a personal goal.
But have you got a QRP sweep?
No, I do not.
I have a QRP sweep.
Nice.
Because the first year I did Lewis and Clark, I did it all on a G90 because that was when my radio got fried and was sent off to Yazoo. So yeah.
Heck yeah.
That G90 sitting right over there on that shelf. An old school G90, not one of these new ones that people have problems out of. It's one of the old school ones.
What kind of shelf is it sitting on by chance? Is it metal? Because it'll tune it.
No, it's not metal. But yeah, you're right. It will tune it. So Chris said he got 1,500 contacts in 3 days as a Georgia activator. Yeah, I could see that. This event. Well, we might as well just go ahead and start talking about it. Let's go ahead and bring it up on the screen here. So this is the event that we're talking about. Is the 13 colony event, and it starts on the 1st of July. Well, didn't mean to do that. Starts on the 1st of July and runs to the 7th of July. Let me bring this back to where I can see it back on the screen. There we go. And let's see, there's 13 colonies and three special event stations.
Yep.
For this one.
And they normally have one in Pennsylvania, one in Spain, and one in not Spain, Great Britain, and one in France, if I believe.
And a clean sweep is technically the 13 colonies. You don't have to get the special event stations, but they are not like the last one where you can use them instead of a clean sweep. You do have to have all 13 colonies. So Kilo 2 Alpha for New York, Bravo for Virginia, Charlie for Rhode Island, Delta for Connecticut, Echo for Delaware, Foxtrot for Maryland, Golf for Georgia. Other side, we got Hotel for Maine, India for New Jersey, Juliet for North Carolina, Kilo for New Hampshire, Lima for South Carolina, and Mike for Pennsylvania. That's the 13 that you got to have for the clean sweep. So, and then this is a super fun event, but you will hear some pile-ups for these events, for this event. I mean, some major pile-ups. Go ahead and get ready for that. Taking only 4 calls. And we all know that there's 5 million 4 calls. So when you hear that, you might as well go take you a nap because you're an 8.
There will be some of those people running those special event calls that will work the numbers, even though I loathe it. But let me tell you, Kyle, I'll get better. Great Britain and France will be 10% harder to get, due to the tariffs. But yeah, I was going to say if you try to get these stations the first couple of days of this event, unless you are a powerhouse yourself, good luck. Okay. If you're running 100 watts in a wire and don't have the timing down quite right, or you just don't want to sit through massive pileups or somebody running numbers. There's a lot of times the last couple of years, the last couple of days of the event, they're begging for contacts.
Yeah. Because everybody's got them.
Yeah. Just wait, and you can get through with 1/10 of a watt as long as you can hear them,
Yeah.
But some of them that I've noticed in past years, some of those states are activated on more modes and more bands than other states.
Yes.
So if historically that might have been a light state, you might want to get it while you can, because you might not hear it again. So.
Yeah. Or you can just come activate with me, and you'll get probably 6 or 7 of them during my activations.
Yeah.
I absolutely love when the event comes around and I hear park to park, Kilo 2 Echo.
Yep.
So lots of fun to get them that way. But yeah, you don't gotta be a powerhouse with what Dan's saying. Dan relies too much on his easy button, y'all.
No, you don't.
He's got that easy POTA button. He just pushes it, and it doesn't matter who it is or where they're at. They just hear him.
Yeah.
It's like a shock collar to an activator. They're sitting there, CQ, and they're Whiskey Delta 4, Delta Alpha November. Please don't do that again.
Yeah. Kelly says Great Britain and France always have pretty big pileups. So that is true. But no, that's
that's not technically the clean sweep. You can get just a 13 and get the sweep, but it is nice to get I typically get the extra stations too.
Now you can
the year I got the sweep with the QRP, I did not get Great Britain. I did get France though.
You can play your own little game inside of the official rules too. So what I do is I'll try for the sweep, right off the bat, and I normally get the sweep, fairly easily. But then I'll start trying to sweep bands. Like I got all the stations on 20 meters. I got all the stations on 40 meters. So I'll try it that way too. If you run N3FJP as your logger, it has an awesome built-in window right there in the logging program to let you keep track of 13 colonies, what you've worked, what bands you worked them on, what bands you still need them on. So it's very helpful.
Yeah, last year I swept it on sideband and CW. That was my goal.
Yep. Yeah, you can play your own little game inside of that too. If you want to sweep it on, say, 40 meter CW, you can play that game for yourself. So it's fun. I love it. One of my most favorite little I don't know if you call it a contest. one of my most favorite times of the year.
It's always fun. I wish there was a guarantee that they would all do POTA, so you could try to sweep it all on POTA. That would be a fun challenge. I get 7 or 8 of them on POTA easily. So that, I mean, it's not like a lot of you guys are going to have to go out of your way, because a lot of them will be doing. But now here's the thing. When they go out and do POTA, they don't call CQ POTA. They'll spot on the POTA page. But just like when I do the Lewis and Clark, I'll spot on the POTA page when I'm in a POTA park. But I'll be calling CQ Lewis and Clark, CQ Lewis and Clark. And don't expect me to be saying my park number or anything like that. If I'm spotted on the POTA page, I'm in a POTA park. It's that simple. Of course, you're going to have them guys that say, well, or if I put 2 for something, what's your second park? And they're going to get QRZ because I'm running the Lewis and Clark event. My second park is the one that shows up in your log tonight when I turn in my logs.
Right.
That simple. But
yeah, looking forward to this one for sure. Maybe one year they'll let me run K2G for a while. I think that'll be fun.
I'd love to do it. I wouldn't run by the numbers. I can tell you that.
Nope, I wouldn't either.
That would definitely be a fun event to run. That's like when I was in Dayton, I put out several fillers to people who have stuff to do with DXs, and I told them, I was like, I want to do an expedition. I want to do an expedition because I want to run the pileup without running by the numbers and without running split. I want to show people that it can be done and it can be done efficiently.
I'd run it like a 2-meter net just to aggravate people. Call sign suffixes A through I, Alpha through India. Please check in now.
Okay, I'll run a DXpedition and I'll be like, all right, November 8th, Sierra Lima Tango, you're 5'9" into Zimbabwe. Make sure and check back in for the 73 round before you go in the log. And like 2 hours later, we're starting the 73 round. You're still there?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, really mess them up. Yeah. Now taking call sign suffixes Alpha through Zulu. Call now. Watching nobody call. It's like, did y'all forget your damn call signs?
I might do that next time I'm like a really huge pile up. I was like, only station with the Alpha through Zulu and see how many people hush.
All right, we're going to run the numbers. Only stations that have a 1 through a 0, please come now. Yeah, we've done the red pickup trucks before.
That's funny too, because I know there's plenty of people that drive red pickup trucks. But if you say that in a pile up, you will only get maybe 2 people that'll come back to you.
Whiskey 0, Charlie Golf Charlie.
But if you said 1 through 0, what if they thought you said 0 through 1?
Well, then they have dyslexia.
Well, I mean, a lot of people do.
I do. Believe it or not. I have number dyslexia, so call signs really don't bother me at all because they're mostly letters. And sometimes I'm
really. What about the ones that have two numbers in it?
That's not all right. So 2 numbers, really doesn't bother me. It starts to get in my head a little bit when it's like 4 or 5 numbers. So yeah, the 2 number call signs don't bother me. Call signs bother me when they're extremely close together, like the Yankee Victor Deltas or the Victor Delta Yankees. Those start to get me a little bit, but yeah.
There we go. I could go up and run K2M out of Tall Guys Club.
Yeah.
That would be cool.
Go up there to Skyview and have fun. Yeah. Yeah, I always look forward to that special event. It's always a load of fun.
I've always wanted to go up to Skyview anyway, because I've I've seen pictures and a little bit of videos of it. They got a really nice setup.
And you can watch the influx of QSL cards too if you go back after the event.
Yeah, I don't normally, you know, because you can request cards from all of them and stuff like that. And I don't normally request the cards. I just normally get the certificate.
I did last year. I requested cards from all of them.
Did you?
Got them. Yeah, it was just a fun thing to do. I don't think I'll do it again. After Tall Guy sent me the pictures of what the mailbox looked like and what the table there at Skyview looked like with the literal thousands of cards that they had to reply to. It's like, no, I'm not. I'm not going to bother you anymore, dude.
I could only imagine because just from POTA,
Yeah.
I average a very big number of cards every week, like a very big number, and it's a really funny story. So when I first took my technician, you know, I did it to honor my dad and stuff, and I was just telling him how excited I was going to be to get cards in the mail. And they're like, "Oh, well, people don't really do that very much anymore."
Right.
And then I started doing POTA, and guess what? People do that very much still. But it was I always looked forward to when I was a kid. I always wanted to run out and check the mail because I wanted to see who sent my dad a card and where it came from. Because you know he was always getting cards. It's funny because back then, you know, when I was a kid and when he was doing it, he was getting as many cards as I was getting now, and he was just, you know, rag chewing on the air. He wasn't doing POTA or nothing.
Yeah. Well, the card then was your physical and only proof of the QSO. That's what you submitted to get some awards, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's really, really cool. And it's cool. I love to find the card. I really would. But I remember seeing it when I was a kid. He talked to a submarine one time.
Nice.
I don't know if the submarine was on top of the water or under the water. I don't know that. But I know he talked to a submarine.
If it was on top of the water, it would be an above-arene, right? I'll be here all night. Thank you.
You ain't even right. How many special event stations send out QSO confirmations from their personal call sign?
I don't know.
I don't know. It's hard to tell. I know we got some cards to Whiskey 8 Oscar Golf for the Lewis and Clark, and we don't even have no club cards there. I'm trying to get them to make something, but we don't even have none.
Museum ships weekend. Okay, I wonder if what's the one in Charleston, the Yorktown? Is that what it is?
And subs on the air. So
I got a sub there too, I believe.
I would like to work a sub because like I said, I always try to everything my dad done in ham radio. I try to do. You know, and that is June the 7th and 8th, so that's really coming up.
Yeah, yeah, that's where I watched the last total solar eclipse. Was on the deck of the Yorktown. That was really cool. Yeah, Charleston. Yep. They had a sub, the carrier and the destroyer there. So yeah, they have a. So they got a sub there as well. You can get both of them on the air.
I would tell somebody that if they find a submarine on the air, to immediately start messaging me. But we all know I don't look at my phone enough to look at messages.
Right. Or you look at your phone like 4 hours later and go, "Dang, I missed it."
No, that's what happens. I look at it like 4 hours later, and I've got 175 notifications, and they just all get swiped off. Every now and then I get lucky. I'm actually looking at my phone, and something comes in. Like Fred today sent me a message asking me about that one crazy West Virginia park. I kind of remember it, but I did it back in 2021, and it's the one that I know I walked across a guy's van. I know I did, but I couldn't tell him a whole lot about it because I've done it once in 2021, but I did send him the map that I had, which is a little different than the map that you find, but it's an official map that I had. So
I don't care how many notifications you get, you're not going to miss that notification from DX Engineering, though, are you?
No, because I'm looking for it. I'm looking for it. No, funny story. You want me to tell you how important I've been waiting on DX Engineering? So I am in the middle of a CW pileup today, and my phone's laying there, and I look down, and it says Summit Racing, which is DX Engineering. I reach up and turn my radio volume down, and I answered the call. Never even. I'm doing CW. I can't say, hold on, guys. Well, I could, but that would have took me longer. They'd done hung up. I answered the call and talked to them, got done, turned it back up, and went dit like I just worked somebody about it. Came right back.
That's great. Should have just made up a call sign and said 73 dit.
Because it doesn't matter what's going on, and if they hear dit, they're going to start calling again. That's why a lot of times when I work Kent Q09 or Alpha Echo, a lot of times he gets people that come right on top of me because when I send the Echo, they're thinking that they hear a dit, and
I normally, to stop
said,
that.
I was wondering where you were. Yep, that was because DX Engineering called.
Yeah.
My phone starts ringing. I automatically assume it's going to be PP Man anyway. So I'm lucky I looked at it.
Oh man, the bands need to improve. Hopefully they'll be good in shape for Lewis and Clark and 13 Colonies coming up. But we need some band be back spray.
Yeah, it definitely. I mean, here's the thing: if any of y'all need Lewis and Clark, West Virginia, you can just message me. You're
not going to see it.
Well, you can message me when I'm doing one of my live streams. You can put it in here. Hey, I need West Virginia, and then we'll set it up. This is true, and it's not that I do that to certain people. You can ask Dan. Dan will send me a message, and I'll reply to him like 4 days later.
Yeah. And I'm glad the one thing I like about text messages and Discord messages and things like that, you can see your past conversations, right? So he'll reply 4 days later. And if this would have been like a phone conversation or something, I wouldn't have any idea what he was talking about because it was 4 days ago and it's left my mind. So I actually have to reread one.
Sometimes he's even sent me a text message to tell me to check my Discord messages.
Yeah,
because I haven't replied.
I'm just going to start, flying a UAV over Chief Logan and dropping like actual letters down to you.
Us Kings are used to having Ravens come in. I typically have a Raven keeper with me at Chief Logan. So if a Raven flies in with a message, I'll get it.
Yeah, they were, Josh. He said they were listening good on CW yesterday. The hunters were actually paying attention. You'd be daisy chaining calls and they would actually come back.
Yeah, it was pretty good. I had a fairly good activation, and I'd run like 2 or 3 calls about every time there for like 7 or 8 times at one point, and I was like, I like this. I like this.
Aloha, Eric.
It's okay that you're late. We know you're packing. This poor guy. I read one of his Facebook things, and he's so he can't send his motorcycle out of Hawaii until he has the title from California.
Yeah, okay, yeah, I've read this one.
No, he's got the motorcycle has to be registered in Hawaii, and he says the title from California, and it's just a mess for him.
You can't get it in California unless you go in person.
Yeah.
Yeah. But speaking of Facebook gems, you knew we were going to get off topic. You knew it. Somebody posted on Facebook. I'm not gonna call them out. Y'all can go read it if it's still there. He posted on Facebook with a picture of him sitting in his car that he would like somebody to spot him on this frequency because he does not have internet access.
I've seen it. I've seen the picture.
And I mean, maybe I'm not too in tune of how this whole interwebs thing works. But if you spot or if you post on Facebook that you barely have enough internet coverage to post on Facebook and you would like somebody to spot you on the POTA site, but you also include an image in your post.
Yeah. That's what got it, was the image. If he just would have wrote on there, I'm having problems because sometimes I can get a page to come up and not get the POTA page to come up as good. But if you put an image up, it takes way more internet than it takes to spot you on POTA.
And it's like, dude, come on. Yeah, that one got me. I should start a collection of Facebook gems. That's what I should do.
Well,
some of them just make you scratch your head.
That's like some guy posted on there that and typically I leave it alone. He's like, yeah, I went to this park, and it was a park in West Virginia, and I went inside to ask the ranger's permission to activate there and blah, blah, blah. And the ranger was in shock because I was the first one that ever asked him if he could activate it there. Evidently.
Go ahead with your story. I'll touch on this.
Evidently, there was a lot of people setting up in wrong places and interfering with people, he said. And my response was, and Eric actually commented on there, said, I've done over 500 activations, never had a problem, never asked. But my response was that this was a national park. Yeah. Okay, there's so much room there. There's thousands of places. And this is what I put. I said there's plenty of places you can go and not interfere or even see other people. Because I know I've activated it plenty.
There was another person, was it today or yesterday?
Yes, right here.
That posted. Yeah.
Willy-nilly.
But there was another person that posted something about the part they activate is kind of in a sketchy part of town. So he was going to let the front office know that he was there and when he left, and also provide them with a list of model numbers and serial numbers for his radios. I'm like, what? But yeah, all right. So Chris, where'd that comment go? Chris and Pat helped each other out this weekend. They did. This video is over on Chris's channel. It's pretty cool. They both didn't have cell phone signal, and so they found each other, and they did a park to park with some club calls, try to get some more, in the log there, stuff like that. And they ended up calling CQ for a while, being in different parks on the same frequency. And they kind of ran it like that just to try to, help each other out. And thanks to Chris, he got Southern Nantahala Forest in Georgia. And that was my case park to work all of Georgia. So I really appreciate him doing that, man. That was a fun weekend. Oh, and another shout out to Chris. Check this out. So he sent me a message, says, I'm going to be up there at the one you need. Look for me around 7044 CW. All right, cool. On his way up, he lost cell phone signal, obviously going up in the woods. And then Steven, my boo, Uniform Delta Victor, hops on CW, and guess what frequency he gets on?
7044.
7044. So I'm having to, hunt around, to find Chris. About 20, 30 minutes go by, and I finally found Chris. I forget what frequency is on, but I found him. And I worked him. I got that part worked. So that got me my worked all Georgia. And then I asked him in CW, I said, do you want me to spot you? And I asked him twice just to make sure he copied it right. And he came right back and said, Roger, Roger, spot. I said, good job, hearing what I was asking you and replying to it. That's awesome.
Now, this is funny too. Curtis, this is the same exact park that he was talking about, the ranger talking about people being willy-nilly. Called them from 3 states away and kept his wire for him till he came back 2 weeks later.
Yeah.
They don't care for you to activate there. You must have talked to some lid. And typically, if you're going into like a visitor center to talk to somebody, you're probably talking to somebody that don't know what they're talking about to start with.
Kyle said you haven't lived until you activate POTA in East St. Louis. Let me tell you something. I've activated some shady spots in Rhode Island. You might not think that would be very shady, but yeah.
Well, now, I will tell you, when I was going to Missouri, Mr. Shady himself, Kilo 8 Golf Quebec, said, whatever you do, don't go in East Missouri.
Yeah.
So that's pretty scary when Terry tells you not to go in East Missouri.
Yes, sir. Yeah, Eric. Yeah, you kind of hit the nail on the head there. Yeah. Like people who, I mean, there's times that somebody who doesn't have but maybe 0 or 1 or 2 or 3 or 4 or 5 activations underneath their belt, there's times they might give some decent advice.
You want me to tell you why somebody with 0 activations is recommending things for that people who hasn't actually done them?
Yeah.
Because there's YouTubers that got 5 or 6 activations that put out how to do POTA videos.
That's very true. That is very true.
You'll learn from your community. That's what they're learning. Yeah, I don't think you can get the late shift award in East. If you do, well, that would be the Bang Bang Award.
Yeah. Yeah, Curtis, some of them parks in Rhode Island are sketch, man. I know. Yeah.
I've activated in some sketchy areas before, but that I'm sure there's a lot worse. I have not done East St. Louis, and I haven't done South Detroit yet either. But I'm going to do South Detroit.
Yeah, the Poopy Park. Yeah, KO4 GAR's Poopy Park. Yeah, y'all remember that? Yeah.
I have activated that one.
Yeah. Yeah, fun times.
I activated another one in South Carolina, and KO4 Gar actually told me, said, be careful when you go to that one. Said that's a rough park. Now I get to this park, so I'm like, okay, I'm gonna go there super early in the morning. There's no way it can be rough super early. And I'm there at like 8 o'clock in the morning, when they're opening the gates. And you have to pay to get into this park. So I'm like, there's no way this park can be as bad. Like, you got to pay to get in. They're not going to pay to get in to start trouble and stuff. And I get there and I start setting up. And all of a sudden you start seeing people walk out of the woods. They don't pay to get into the park. They walk through the woods to get into the park.
Looks like Field of Dreams, the movie. You build it, they will come.
and like they literally start walking out of the woods and start going up to people selling dope.
That's great.
Like, oh my God.
Hey man, you want to hit it to make your QSO rate go up.
I heard you can do a fast pile up, do a line of this, and you can really do some pile up. Oh.
Thomas Wolfe in downtown Asheville is a sketchy park most any time of day. Yeah. I've never been there.
Funny thing. I have activated Thomas Wolfe, and I was there before they opened at like 8 o'clock in the morning, and was loading up my stuff before they even opened, and got approached and people tried to bum money off of me.
At least
that early in the morning.
At least I didn't offer you shampoo.
So yeah, I know the exact park you're talking about there.
Brother Dom, what's going on, buddy?
Dom was beating those bad band conditions today. He got through a couple times to me.
Man.
One time for mobile. He did better than Terry did today. So
yeah, hit that like button, Brent says.
Yeah, definitely hit that like button. Dom's doing a 3 for tomorrow. Hopefully the bands are good for you, Dom. I'll probably get back out at it early tomorrow morning as well. I've been trying to get out before the bands die in the morning and get at least a CW activation in. And, that's what I thought I was doing this morning. But no, it was dead even that early this morning. So, but now last night was on fire. I mean, there was a big pile last night. So.
Well, the FTX1 has the band engage button.
Has the what gauge?
It has a band engage button, so it actually turned the bands on for you. When you're done using the radio, it'll shut the bands off.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Good deal. I'm glad to know that. You know what this means? A new radio should be showing up. It means Patreons are going to have to get on the bands and work through the audio settings.
Everything I've heard of it, I mean, I've talked to people using it, and it sounds phenomenal out of the box.
Like the activators.
Yeah,
audio?
yeah. Like I hear them on my rig. It sounds. Their audio through the hand mic
sounds great. Like as far as coming back out of it, like super good.
Yeah. So yeah, the receive audio sounds good, and the transmit audio sounds great out of the box.
I absolutely cannot wait. I may just go live, unbox it live when I get it.
There you go.
Probably what I'll do. I'll probably go live and unbox it. So. What's hot lava, Terry?
The bands. The bands are like hot lava.
I mean, I'm still getting activated. It's rough at times, but I'm still getting. When I say rough, that's 30 or 40 QSOs.
The waterfall does look good on it. This is my Yaesu rant. I love Yaesu radios. I love Icom. I love Kenwood. I love Elecraft. I don't care, what radio it is, but Yaesu. This 3DSS crap, what were you thinking? I don't know anybody who actually likes it. I always go back straight to the flat 2D waterfall instead of looking at some kind of something at a Star Wars movie where I'm flying an X-Wing trying to put a missile down an air shaft or something. Do better.
You know what cracks me up? You're showing your true ICOM colors.
No.
No, really. You used ICOM for a long time.
Oh, yeah.
Because people who use ICOM, that's always their gripe with the radio. So it's got to be this and this and.
No.
I do POTA. I don't look at that gun waterfall.
No, see, see, the thing is, they try to force it upon you because that's the default. When you turn it on, you have this Space Invaders looking 3DSS crap. I just don't like it. Never have, Oh yes, the FTX does have waterfall averaging too, which is really nice.
So, Brian, do you have yours yet? I'm curious. I know a lot of people are still waiting for emails from places that did pre-order them, and they're still waiting for emails. But I can tell you that when they're getting them, they are sending the emails out.
He said he's still waiting. So.
I was a very, very me having my radio on the way to me, it has nothing to do with YouTube. I can tell you that, because when that radio, when they said it was coming out, I reserved it right off the bat, first thing. That's like when I called, got the financing done. I called to pay for it. That guy's like, "Well, we don't really need you to pay for it because we'll charge you. We just need your credit card information because we'll charge it when it gets ready to ship." I was like, "It's going to ship today."
Mm-hmm.
And he said, "Oh, no, we don't have them in stock." I said, "You got mine in stock?"
All right.
He said, "I highly doubt that." And I said, "You might want to look." And he looked. He said, "Oh, we do have yours in stock." I said, "Yeah, I was one of the first people." He's like, "Well, I got a lot of early people that ain't got their emails yet." I was like, "Trust me, I was early." So,
yeah, hopefully, I think it's probably more Yazoo trying to ramp up production, I would assume. I mean, they can only make so many per day. So, yeah. That and they probably didn't want to make, thousands of them and have them waiting to figure out there's a weird kind of hardware problem.
Now, this is what I'm curious.
Yeah.
This is what I'm curious. Is there anybody in the chat? I know we just ran over, and we'll wrap it up in a second. But is there anybody in the chat that just reserved the field that has not gotten their field, or at least gotten the email that it's ready to ship? Because the Optima came out a little bit later. Yeah, you can purchase them without a reservation.
They're not going to ship it.
You're still going to be on the end of that list, I'm sure.
Yeah.
Exactly. And this is my so Brian did purchase his from HRO. He's done paid for it and everything, and he was the third person to pay for the Optima, and still they haven't said nothing to him yet. So there, see that's what I thought. The field, if you just ordered a field, you should be able to get them immediately, because a lot of fields are out there. Yeah, it's the Optimas that's coming slower.
Yeah, they had fields at Dayton. So yeah,
there was I could have got a field at Dayton, but they had 0 Optimas. And honestly, if you're going to get a field, you might as well get the Optima, because you're saving so much money if you end up wanting that amplifier later. So,
see you, Brent. Have a good one, buddy.
Yeah, we're getting ready to wrap up anyway, Brent. Dan, what do you got coming up?
Man, not a lot. Another week of the W 4-letter word, and hopefully everybody enjoyed tonight. Thank you so much for joining us here on Hump Day Happy Hour. I'm going to drop some links in the chat now to Patreon and our Discord, where we're going to head over to the after chat, which James is going to let you know about now.
That's right, and that's what's coming up for me. I'm getting ready to head over to the after chat and hang out for a little bit. If you're not a Patreon and want to come to after chat, you can go over to Patreon right now and sign up for a 7-day free trial, and it costs you absolutely nothing for 7 days. But you do have to message me or Dan to let us know that you did that, so we can get you the benefits. But I promise you're going to stay in Patreon, because just ask any of my Patreons who's already Patreons. They are, my Patreons are well taken care of. It's not just them paying for a service. They're well taken care of. When one of them needs something or is in need, we make sure it gets done. So just that word of mouth. Ask one of them if you don't believe me. But we're heading over for that. I will look at the weather, and I will gauge the after chat room, depending on how many people. I may go out tonight, and I may not go out tonight.
POTA.
But we'll see. I've been trying to get as many late shifts in as I can, because it lets all the PZN people relax a little bit. Because in band conditions like these, It's pretty rough. It's pretty rough. So, all right, guys. Thanks for hanging out with us tonight, and we'll catch you in after chat or on the air. 73, everybody.
See you.